Welcome to Bougie Black Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Montoyia McGowan, licensed clinical social worker and a therapist with Stop in the Chase Counseling and Consulting. This is a podcast where we help clinicians who have the credentials to be in private practice learn all things private practice and ways to be authentic and give themselves permission to develop their own culture and attract the clients that they love working with. So today I have one of my friends, colleagues,
yes,
Gerald.
How are you, Montoyia?
I'm well. So
Good to see you.
thank you. Tell us about who you are.
Well, I am Gerald Vernell, and I am a provisionally licensed professional counselor here in the city of Memphis, and I am working with Montoyia at Stopping the Chase, and I specialize in relationship counseling. I help couples communicate better and individuals who are having issues in their relationships, who keep going in between relationships. I help those people one-on-one too, and just really get people to really understand more about themselves. And I've been doing this on a private practice basis for maybe going on 4 years. In November, it'll be my anniversary. My business has had various iterations of it, but it is what I do. I also work at another facility as a behavioral counselor as well. So I love helping people. I think it's what I'm called to do. Constantly learning. I don't think that you can ever stop doing that. So that's the basics.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what made you decide to do private practice?
Well, working at another facility as a therapist, I would always get questions from my clients when they were getting discharged. Hey, dude, can I see you? I mean, you just made such an impact on me, and I would really like to see you again. And I'm like, well, if you get admitted again, you can see me, but
right.
I'm not doing nothing past here. And I'd be like, you know what, man, maybe I should do it. Mm-hmm. And then one day, one of my mentors, a guy by the name of Jim Lotta, just said, listen, Gerald, I have this girl who I've been working with, but I'm overloaded at my business, but I think you'll work well with her.
He was in private practice?
He's still in private practice. So he just said, go see her. And he didn't say, hey, do you have a business or anything? He just said, go and get
That's
it.
your client.
Yeah. And I'm like, so how does this work? So I said, I need to figure out what I'm going to say. How's this going to go? Is she going to pay me? I mean, how much do I charge her? So I kind of got my thoughts together and right together, and went to her home, okay? Because doing home visits, I didn't have an office. I was just going. A lot of people use the excuse, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do it. I think that's one of the biggest excuses that a person could have. I mean, it could be a reason, but, for me, I think that's always how my life has unfolded. I just get the opportunity and I learn as I go. And, God puts people in my path to kind of, open that door or pave that way for me. So I was doing that for probably a year, doing the house thing. And then I graduated from the house thing to going to the library.
What made you decide to switch up?
Well, some people's houses just wasn't, quite right.
It wasn't therapeutic.
Exactly. When you are sitting on a box cart in the middle of a living room, you say, it's got to be something. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube like this. So let me make sure I'm exploring all of my environments. So I said, okay, I really don't have the overhead to rent an office space, but I want to make it more professional. So I said, the library has meeting rooms, and I've used them to study. So I said, you know what, I can get these rooms for about 2 hours, and a session is just usually an hour. So I started going there, and I did that for a whole year.
Really?
For a whole year, from 2018 to like 2019. So, it was nice, but it wasn't as professional as you would want it to be because the library is open to the public.
Right.
Okay. And I'm talking about the public, where the kids from East come 2:15, the bell rings, they there about 2:25, banging on the door while you're trying to process with somebody.
And don't let them be in the middle of a cry.
Right. And I'm like, do I need to go over there and get out of my therapeutic voice and tell them, hey? So I said, okay. 2019, I said, God, you got to open a door for me. I'm getting an office, and I didn't know how it was going to happen.
You just put it out there in the
atmosphere. I just put it out there because, I felt like, it's a due paying type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, I don't know how this is going to happen. So I just started asking, some of my friends, hey, you got office space? You got free office space? Like, what is free office space? Who does it? So I was like, somebody's going to let me have an office space for free. So you
think you manifested that?
I put it out there.
Okay.
I put it out there, and I got an inbox from another colleague of mine, Brandy, one of our close confidants. And she said, hey, you'd be great in this, I guess it was called Mid-South Therapist of Color. And we don't have any men. I was like, all right, I'll get in it. The next thing I know, I get an inbox from this girl named Montoyia McGowan. And she was like, hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm like, what's all this energy? I mean, ain't nobody just off the wham nice like that.
Just sending some sunshine just because.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? On some professional stuff? Okay, all right, whatever. And she's like, if it's anything you need, just let me know. I was like, I need an office space.
And what'd she say?
Hey, will you want to meet with me? And I'm thinking to myself, I said, I need an office space. She talking about a meeting. So I was like, okay, all right, let me go and see what she got to say. Because I'm like, okay, when you get with therapists, y'all talk shop. You know what I'm saying? I do that enough. But
like, what I got to do to get this office space?
Exactly. So I get to her office. It's all nice and therapeutic. She got the red, seats and the leather couch. And I'm like, it'd be nice if I had it. I'm like, okay. But she keep talking. I got my hoodie on. I'm looking very non-therapeutic. It's like I just came from,
Did she act like she was judging you? Like, you don't look like a therapist?
No, she did not judge me. You were just like, you were talking. I guess you were trying to get some, feel me out or whatnot.
Yeah, I was.
And I was just like, okay, so when are we going to get to the office? Because I'm thinking, like, I didn't told her my story. I went to TSU, I did this, did that. We passed that. So at the end of the conversation, she pulls out her key and says, here, you can use my office. Okay, for real? Well, how much? No, you just use it for a few months, and then in March we'll talk. Like, okay, all right. And I'm still like,
what I gotta do?
Why is this person being nice to me? Because, I'm just not used to that. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I use it, and I have my first session, and my client's not in the library. Mm-hmm. I told him, hey, we're coming to the office. Office? What you talking about? We're not meeting at the library? No, man. It's a new environment. Come on through.
I'm professional.
Exactly. So he comes in, and he's like, oh, this is nice. It's a little girly, but I like it. It's nice. Yeah, I know. So I had to cross my legs and lean
to make
back.
it masculine.
Yeah, and get all therapeutic. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is me. Okay, I'm not going back from this. Okay, had another session with a couple. That was good. And then me and Montoyia bumped heads. She had a client the same day I had a client.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, gosh, I got to go back to the library. It was like you had came up and now you got to go back to the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And that day, I was like, you know what? Never again. So I talked to the office manager. I said, hey, you got one of these office spaces open? She's like, yeah. Guy just moved out day before yesterday. Look at this. I looked at it. It had a desk in it and a seat. I was like, looked like people been selling the insurance in this piece, but I guess it'll do. So from March of 2019, I've been in the same spot at 1331 Union Center, and that has really, been my standard.
Yeah.
And you had a lot to do with that.
Thank you. Did you find out what I wanted from you? Like why I was being so nice?
Well, you told me. This is what you're doing. You inspire people, especially therapists, to get out and definitely branch their wings and be in private practice. That's what you were doing. I was like, all right, I can feel that, But a lot of people say that, but it's very few people that actually do that.
Yeah.
And do it at a level where it's beneficial, and really put you somewhere. And you put me somewhere, or you helped to put me somewhere.
Yeah, I helped you.
And
I was a conduit. That's it.
Yeah, and I haven't slid back. It was not like I'm just gonna do this for a couple of weeks. No, because I'm looking at you and I'm saying, okay, I see her style. This is what she's doing. She's serious about this. So if she can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. So you're a pace setter, and I'm looking at you like, okay, all right, she doing it like that. Okay, I need to do it like that. All right, okay, all right, just taking notes. Mm-hmm. And everything that you have told me and showed me that I have implemented has worked.
Yeah. And then you've added your own personality and your own stuff to it, and then created some more stuff that works just for you.
Yeah.
And the clients that come to see you.
Absolutely, because I think everybody has their own flavor that they have. Case in point, doing your own thing. Last year, I did my own podcast, Spouse in the House, with 88.5.
I was going to ask you, what was some stuff that you have done to try to put yourself out there to let people know that you're available?
Basically, doing things like that. The podcast really expanded the platform, as well as marketing. I had an ad on, I think it was 103.5. It was a commercial, actually, that I recorded a commercial, and that ran for about a month or two. And of course, doing your thing online with Psychology Today, having that marketing piece, and just basically word of mouth and networking through other clinicians. Clinicians are a good referral piece. Mm-hmm.
So when you did you said Spouse in the House?
Spouse in the House. Yeah, I did.
Tell me about that.
So this was an opportunity that came through me through another colleague who had a relationship with one of the producers at 88.5.
My favorite DJ.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name.
John Best.
Yes, Mr. Best.
Well, one of my favorite DJs.
Yes, John Best. So we chopped it up and talked about the format and what the general idea was with this pandemic that we were in and hopefully coming out of. Couples were spending more time with each other than they would normally, with the distraction, quote unquote, of work not being there.
Right.
all that stuff that they were sweeping under the rug was now right there in front of their face. So, you were seeing people get divorced, and people coming into marriage therapist office, just trying to say, okay, what do we need to do to improve our communication? So the whole format of that show was basically coming up with one coping skill that a couple could use, basically taken from the emails that I would get in that were submitted to me.
People telling you about issues that they're having.
Exactly.
Why they want to come and see you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
that was smart.
Exactly, because I said the show is not mine. It's really the community show,
right? Because
I'm trying to give that back, and I would just pretty much give them free therapy on the air. They got 20 minutes of, okay, you know what? This is my issue. This is why I'm having this issue, and this is what we need to do as a couple. And, a lot of business came from that. So that was definitely something.
Where'd you get the title of spouse in the house from?
Spouse in the house, I don't know how I got that, but I was thinking it was pandemic related because y'all are in the house,
right?
And y'all are spouses. And I was like, okay.
Like mouse in the house, spouse in the house.
Yeah, I should have trademarked it, but it was very apropos, and definitely something that was fun to do.
Yeah. Who gave you permission to do that?
Gave me permission? I had to give myself permission to do that. A lot of times you get these opportunities, or people see things in you, and you're not willing to really grab onto it. But you have to look at yourself and say, you know what? You're the reason that you're not going as far as you need to go, because people are seeing you in the frame of reference of their experience. And they're saying, okay, this guy is up here. And you're looking at it through the emotion of your life,
right? Which
is not objective,
right?
Very subjective. So sometimes you have to grab onto another person's belief in you until you can believe it yourself. And, I kind of, have lived by that, because like I said before, you can use that excuse. I've never done this before. I don't know how to do it. For me, that's weak. Just do it. You'll figure it out, and that's how I've done it. I've just said, okay, all right, I'm smart enough. I will figure it out. And for the most part, it's going well.
I have heard, and I used to be guilty of this too, to say that I'm not creative. I'm not a creative person because I like to focus on the intellectual part of stuff. But actually, I am. Do you feel like you're a creative person?
I have been. I look at something or get an idea of how to do something from something that was already created, and I put my spin on it. Okay, just like with the show. There wasn't no shows on YouTube that were talking about how to deal with relationship issues in the pandemic. I just had to sit back and say, okay, need a name, need a format, and I just went with it. Most of the time, your first version is not going to be your last version. You have to consider it a work in progress.
Right.
And you can't be so tied to it that, if I do a bad job, people are going to think I'm not smart, or I'm not good enough. Forget that. Do it. I feel like when I mess up, that's good. That means I'm learning something. And most
you don't beat yourself up about it.
No, not at all. I mean, the biggest thing is actually doing it, making the decision and doing it. Okay, because as you start doing it, it gets easier. The biggest piece that you have to move, the biggest boulder that you have to move, is that anxiety. That I don't know. What are they going to say? How am I going to do this? You know, I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. And just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have supportive people around you who give you positive feedback, who give you positive encouragement, and also if you're connected with somebody like you who are doing things, I mean, you can use them as an inspiration. Um, so that's, I mean, you gotta be connected to a positive tribe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you get locked into your own head, you gonna be there with the devil throwing a pity party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to move.
Yeah. What are some of the? That's my hype girl,
I know
Chelsea.
you from somewhere, Donna.
That's my daughter.
I was like, yeah, your face. I know you from her. Okay, I'm seeing her face. Okay, all right. You look familiar.
I feed off her. I feed off of her energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about you.
Mm-hmm.
Movement makes miracles.
That's what her mom told her.
Okay. Yes, it does.
It does. Yeah. You know, when you're feeling depressed, and you're feeling anxious, movement.
Yeah. That's what I tell people all the time at work. Listen, you have to get out of this room because you are recreating the same environment in this hospital as you have at home. Okay? And when you do physical activity, everybody knows that that is the number one cure for depression because it releases endorphins,
Yeah.
dopamine. You can lose weight, you can get in shape. Then you walk by a mirror and you be like, "Who is that?"
And be
Okay,
like, wait.
I'm feeling good. All right. And then
I did that?
right. And then somebody else says, "Well, you look good. What you been doing?" I just been walking.
Don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow.
Right. So yeah, movement does create miracles. Yeah, I gotta do some movement at the gym after I leave here.
Yeah, yeah. What are some of the struggles that you have encountered as a black male therapist? Or some that you thought that you have?
I don't know.
Because y'all are like unicorns.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it would be the perception. Now, I haven't personally just gotten this blatantly in my face that the stereotype, okay, he's black, what is he now? Like, I mean, he's at the back of the line. He can't be up here. You know, you can't be as good at your profession as the general masses.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that has not been said to me. I mean, because I have white clients. I have a white couple. They were one of my first clients. Then I have a few other.
You just have a mixture of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they chose me, and I'm like, okay. And you never know what somebody is grabbing onto from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you say, you know what, I'm only going to be a black therapist, only black people are going to come to me. If you feel like that, maybe that's what you're going to attract.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, my arms are open to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's what comes to me. Of course, you know, I understand my own demographic personally, and I can speak to that. But the way I've been trained, the things that I've learned can relate to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but as far as a black male therapist, I just really haven't run into just, you know, stumbling blocks.
Okay.
You know? But generally speaking, as a therapist, it would just be missed appointments, which I'm sure you can relate to. We hate that. So how do you keep them coming? You definitely have to have a relationship with them,
Mm-hmm.
along with giving them something that's portable.
Right.
It's easy to have a conversation with somebody and feel a connection. But after you leave that office, how is this going to improve my life? What did I just pay this man X amount of dollars for? And the better you get at your craft, you will see missed appointments go down. That's why I study every day. That's why I listen to tapes and try to steadily improve my craft and go after this certification or that certification, talk to other therapists, because I'm always trying to be giving a better service to the clients.
Okay. Because you're the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, what's one of your favorite compliments that you've gotten from a client or a couple?
Or a couple. So the white couple that I was telling you about, this couple came to me very emotionally dysregulated, knocked down, drag out fights, not anything physical, but tearing flat screens off the wall and throwing them, to where they got to a point where they were able to communicate their feelings with one another and problem solve, to the point where we got to termination. Well, prior to us getting to termination, I would say early on in the therapy, in the 4th week, he popped a question to her and said, "Will you marry me?" And then they got married, and they said, "Gerald, we couldn't have done this without you."
Wow.
I was like, "For real though? All right, I'll take that."
Okay. He was like, thanks. Yeah.
So that's one of the ones that stick out in my mind.
What's one of the oddest reasons somebody said they chose you? Because you know, when people are scrolling, we don't know who to choose or how to choose somebody if nobody has actually referred this person to you.
Exactly, because they have choices, dozens of choices. But one female said, because I asked her that question, so out of all the therapists you could have picked, why did you pick me? When I looked at your picture, you looked like you went through something. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I probably need to smile on that, but guess I was keeping it too real. But she was like, yeah, I need him because everybody else is smiling in their picture.
And you didn't smile, so she was like, yeah.
I mean, this is serious business. Your problem is serious. So I'm letting you know, when you come through this door, we're going to be about business.
She said you look like you went through something.
You seen the picture? Yeah. Yeah, it's a struggle face.
One of my favorite therapists that I went to, I was with him for 4 years, and I liked the fact that he went through some stuff too. I feel like it qualified him.
Right.
And he made it through the struggles, and he's a professional. He has a colorful background and proof that he can survive.
Absolutely. It's all in how you relate. Self-disclosure is one of the best ways that you can build rapport. Mm-hmm. If you can tell one person, hey, this is what the theory says, and, you do this coping skill, you're going to get this outcome. But if you can tell a person, you know what, let me tell you my story because I understand why you feel that way. It happened to me too. That draws a person closer to you. Mm-hmm. Where they feel like, you know what, he doesn't think I'm crazy, and I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. And that's powerful.
Yeah, the connection is immediate because they feel like you can relate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're proof that I can get to the other side of this.
Right. And you're not judging them, because a lot of people can say, hey, yeah, I've been there, done it. Yeah, girl, just pick your head up and you just go on. Well, they've heard all of that. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've heard the advice. They heard just do whatever. It has not worked. So now they need to be in a non-judgmental space with a person that they are feeling is not judging them, um, feels like their problem is not quote unquote crazy, and they're not alone. Um, that space right there gives you the vehicle to tell your story. That other person feels like, okay, I can really be open and honest with this person.
Right.
Because you can't tell your business to everybody.
Right.
Because they'll be down the street saying, "Hey, I got some good juice for you."
Yeah.
This girl right here, yeah, she's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
No.
I have a couple of interns, and one of my interns, she's seeing somebody, and so our last time we met, we talked about self-disclosure and transference and counter-transference, and I was explaining to her that when you are sharing parts of you, it's not so you get the opportunity to be like, girl, me too.
Right.
It's strictly for the benefit of the client, to help them consider other perspectives and know that there are other possible outcomes.
Exactly.
I've seen some therapists that feel like they shouldn't have any pictures in their office, they shouldn't have anything personal around, they don't talk about anything personal as far as themselves, and you can tell that the connection between them and their clients is completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't feel like
they don't know who you are.
They don't think you're a real person. Like, you tell them you had a bad day for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But it's true in what you say, because I've had some colleagues that use the client as a sounding board, that use the client to get their stuff off, and they come out of the session crying. Now, I'm not saying crying with your client is a bad thing, but
that wasn't your session.
That wasn't your session. You done just spent 30, 40 minutes talking about everything that you're going through, have went through, just so you can have this other client feel like, okay, me too. Like, nah, you have to be focused on what it is you're trying to accomplish in this session at all times. And when you do that you do run into counter-transference issues. And that's just something you really have to have a skill for when you're self-disclosing. Because you don't want to go down a slippery slope where they're like asking you questions and getting deep into your stuff, and then you have to say, hey, let's shift gears now and get back on you. No.
I had a client one time that when she came, she told me, she said, this is going to be my last session with you. She said, because I feel like I'm paying for a homegirl. She said, I feel like I'm paying for a friend. I'm paying to talk to a friend. And that's not what I want. She said, you're not very doctorish. You're not as professional as I thought you would be, or as I expected you to be.
Yeah.
And she said, I have enough friends that I'm paying for already.
Wow.
At first, I was like, ugh, okay, so maybe I need to be a little bit more doctorish. Not a doctor, but maybe I can be a little bit more sterile and less homegirlish. And I had to think about that for a while and sit with it. But then I decided, what I told her was, I said, even though it may feel that way, like you filled out an intake, you did the HIPAA and confidentiality form, I told you the things that you needed to know, but the basis of our conversation, it doesn't feel like it, but I am doing a biopsychosocial. I am getting an understanding of your family systems. I am also assessing what your coping skills are and what you need to do and where you need to grow and where you'd like to go and how I can help you. But I have learned how to do it in a way to where it feels comfortable for me and it feels authentic to me. And I don't want to feel doctorish. I don't want to feel sterile. I enjoy the way that I do it. Now, could I possibly look at some of the language and some of the words that I used and maybe read the room with the client that's there? But this me.
And your style is something that you had to grow into. It wasn't something that, okay, this is just, I'm just going to see if this works. Because, each therapist has their own style.
Right.
And, I could do you, but I wouldn't be comfortable because I'm more structured.
Mm-hmm.
And in that structure, that gives me confidence of knowing where I'm going with this client. But at the same time, in that structure, I'm giving my personality, I'm telling jokes. But at the end of every post, I'm summing up, I'm doing all the things in my mind that I'm supposed to do, rephrasing, paraphrasing. At the end of it, this is what we're going to be doing between sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your assignments, and we're coming back in. When you come to me, you're going to be looking at an agenda, so you know what we're doing. But it's not etched in stone. Mm-hmm. If you pull up to my office and you have something that you have to talk about, that's where we're going to park it.
Right.
Okay. This is not my session. But I want you to know I'm not just here, whistling Dixon and just going to let you just talk and talk and talk. Because there are things that we have to accomplish that you've communicated that you want to see changed in your life. Mm-hmm. And I'll be doing you a disservice if I let you take me all the way to, Hawaii when we just need to go to, Kentucky. So everybody has their own style, but as long as you get to that place that they've agreed that they want to go, fine.
Mm-hmm. How you get there is different for each person.
Yeah, and some people might not like my style. They might just want to say, "Yeah, I don't want to do no worksheets. I don't want to do no agenda. I just want to talk." Okay, and you know what? In about 2 or 3 sessions, I'm gonna say, "Okay, how's that working for you? Has anything changed in your life? All right, well, let's get back on task."
And see, that doesn't work for me.
Right.
I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
I don't have, your office feels to me very educationally, mm-hmm. and that works well for the people that come to see you.
Right.
The clients that are attracted to me, what I have on my wall in my office, the list of feeling words.
Right.
And that's where we started, mm-hmm. as far as what their goals are, mm-hmm. and what we need to do to bridge the gap between where they are and what their goals are. But I had to cultivate that. Sure. I had to find what works because I tried it your way, mm-hmm. and it just didn't feel right to me because that wasn't what works well for me.
Right. And I see that in your mind, you know where you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing the same thing. We're just getting there in different ways.
Exactly. And your clients respond to you, and my clients respond to me because they know, I'm going to work because I got problems, and I've been talking to mama, I've been talking to dad, my friend, I'm still in the same spot. All right, well let's try it a different way.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not tied to, a rigid structure.
Mm-hmm. But you like structure.
I respond to it. Clients respond to
mm-hmm.
it. And it kind of gives you a vision of where you're going to go, how you're going to get there. Okay? Because you can say, all right, take me to New York. But if you don't have a map, that trip could take 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as long as you have in your mind something that you relate to that makes you functional and that client can respond to it, mm-hmm. I think that's what's needed.
Right. Because we're entrepreneurs and you're the boss. Mm-hmm. You get to decide what the rules are. You get to decide how you do things, mm-hmm. and you gave yourself permission to be able to do it. And if it don't work, you're like, let's try something different.
Exactly. Because everybody's process in terms of their plan of care is different. And I give them informed consent. This is how I am. This is how I do things. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they know, this guy does it his way. He does it his style. Mm-hmm. But, I am the expert on my life, and he's going to listen to me. So it's almost like we're partners. We're in
Right.
a team.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm supposed to be a reflection. I'm water. Okay. And I'm getting you to really be your own therapist. All right. And give you the tools to build your house. I can't build this house for you.
Right.
Here is your house. Here's your tools. Go ahead and build. And you'll make the house that you want if it's according to your vision that we've identified. And we'll come back and do some home improvements. I call myself a do it to myself project. I'm always trying to better myself.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like people should always be in a constant state of being, not just I'm done.
How close is that to how you live your personal life?
Very close. Definitely very close. I can't just, be an actor and just tell people, hey, this is what you do. Don't do as I say. And no, it's none of that. So I have to let a person know, hey, these things do work. I've done this on myself and also with other clients.
Yeah. I mean, like the structure and how you show up, how you prepare, how you make sure that you have a plan for yourself, but you're also flexible in making sure you're catering to the clients.
Yeah.
That relates to your life, like how you do life yourself.
Absolutely. Every day I wake up at a certain time, 3:06. And
AM.
AM. I do my morning meditation. I get my word.
Do you wake the rooster up too?
I don't live on no farm. I live right across from that bridge. But the lights be going on that bridge all night. And, I would work out 4 o'clock, be at work 5:30. I have my outlook, that has been prepared from the day before.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm going to make some changes to it. But it just gives me a guide because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Right.
But preparation gives you a chance, there's that old saying, preparation gives you that separation. So with that being said, you don't need to complicate your life by just procrastinating or just, I'll figure it out when I get there. You don't know what you're going to be facing because you're already going to have a problem. And then you got to deal with what you didn't do to compound that. So, I'm not saying that you plan a perfect day in advance and then everything goes right all the time. That's just not happening. But you give yourself a chance to be more proficient and effective.
Yeah.
And in what I do, I have to do that because, I am trying to help other people. And I can't, complicate my life and have all these anxieties going on with me when I'm trying to be present with somebody else, when I could have knocked some of that anxiety out by, handling my own business.
Whoopsie.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. So where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at 1331 Union Avenue. I'm in Suite 106. I am a clinical affiliate of Montoyia McGowan and Stopping the Chase. So you can go to her website, our website, Stopping the Chase, and you can definitely go to Psychology Today, Stopping the Chase, and you can get in contact with me and receive some services.
All right. Well, I hope that we have done something to inspire you or to help you or to give you some kind of insight, if not about therapy, but about business. about being an entrepreneur, about working for yourself, cultivating what works best for you, and being okay with that. Thank you for stopping by Bougie Black Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Montoyia McGowan. You can find me at stoppingthechase.com. You can find me also on Psychology Today. I am also on Facebook, Instagram, Stopping the Chase, and Montoyia Collins McGowan. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.